So he pulls his maneuver, and he like it even says when it's in his perspective that he hears like a noise that he doesn't like. He doesn't even take the time to figure out what the noise.
He doesn't recognize the noise. No.
I thought maybe he like lost R2 for a second.
Like the tractor being just locked onto R2 while he's trying to like R2's just like floating in space. He's like,
You know what? That is a way to escape a tractor beam, though. Just eject your astronaut.
Just don't get too friendly with them. Hello there. You've found the Lost Holocron, an ancient artifact of lore and legends from a galaxy far, far away. Each transmission of the Lost Holocron, you will join an episodic discussion of media from the Star Wars universe. We will be your guides. Tim?
Hello.
Kyle?
Sorry, my mic was muted.
I thought it was those 32 Steam tabs from last time.
I would have believed you if you just said nothing, though.
yeah. I thought you were going to make a mattress joke. Kyle fell asleep.
Scott?
Hey.
And I'm Stuart. We'll be covering the material up to and including Chapter 16 of Heir to the Empire. Tim, what happened so far?
So far, Grand Admiral Thrawn is leading the Imperial remnants from the shadows in a grand conspiracy to destroy the New Republic and reestablish the Galactic Empire. To do so, he is employing the help of Dark Jedi clone Joruus C'Baoth. Last and first of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker lacks the confidence to be the teacher needed to rebuild the Jedi Order. However, during a space battle in the Athega System, Luke makes contact with a Jedi, promising to lead him forward. All the while, Leia and Luke, with their little intelligence...
Lucky they got a high dex roll.
All the while, Leia and Luke are on the run to evade the capture of the mysterious Imperial commander. They run to Lando Calrissian on Nklon, and now Chewbacca leads Leia to Kashyyyk for protection, while Han Solo and Lando broadcast decoy signals through C-3PO, giving the illusion that Leia is still on the run. Thrawn is not so easily deceived, however, as he plans another ambush for Luke. Scott, what happened in this chapter?
Chapter 16. Luke is pulled out of hyperspace into a slaughter. His Jedi senses tell him that there's no one left alive on the cargo ship, incurring the ire of an Imperial Star Destroyer. He narrowly escapes the literal tractor beam grasp of the Imperials, but unwittingly incurs serious damage to his X-Wing. Thrawn is none too pleased with the performance of his men during the confrontation and shows just how unforgiving he can be. Instead of pursuing Luke themselves to focus on their upcoming attack on Sluis Van, Thrawn orders a bounty to go out on Luke's capture, knowing that his hyperdrive will fail, presently due to the damage sustained in the confrontation. It was good. I really enjoyed like all the technicalities of everything that Luke was doing to try and escape the tractor beam.
Yeah.
And I feel like the excitement from this chapter from Luke's activity kind of almost made up for the lack of activity when Luke was like in a trance or whatever from one of the chapters back.
Yeah.
So it's almost because it's like we know how competent as a fighter pilot he can be, and we didn't see that then, but we see that now in this chapter.
Yeah.
Where he's trying to escape the pull of the tractor beam, which I thought was really interesting, and just the way that Timothy Zahn described everything that was happening and Luke barking orders to R2, I felt like that was really exciting.
Never sold R2. Yeah, no, I felt like the problems of describing a space battle when you have like infinite 3D space to work with was quite well done. Describing the cone of the interdictor, the gravity well, pseudo gravity well that there was projecting, which is a really cool piece of technology to have in the universe. I really like that.
Yeah.
And him trying to escape that while also trying to escape like a tractor beam and being unpredictable and how to, cope with the physics of like moving around when you've got, 6 degrees of freedom or however many you've got in space.
I also like the Imperial strategy quite a bit. I thought it was cool to have like a decoy freighter there.
Yeah.
To make Luke think, oh, they're after that one. When in actuality, he's their target.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that they seem to just have a spare freighter. I can't tell how their resources are doing.
They probably captured it at some point. And like, oh, we can use that later.
Yeah.
We'll just kick everybody. We'll just throw everybody out the airlock. We don't need you guys. We just need the thing.
I mean, it was supposed to be expendable based on the description that Thrawn gave last chapter. But I'm surprised that Luke, when he reached out and he was like, "Oh no, there's nobody left alive on board. They're either been captured or killed." That like that didn't send up any sparks for him, which just points to their little intelligence that they have.
Yeah, no, I did definitely wonder, like, why are you not suspicious?
Yeah,
that there's no life signs on there.
Yeah, I mean, by the time they dropped in, it sounded like it was pretty beat up. It was like right at the very end of the battle.
I mean, he should have just got on with her immediately anyway. I like there was no scenario where he sees this and is just like, oh, this might go my way. Like, just seeing a start a story should have been like, I need to leave immediately. But like several radio signals happen.
Right. But I feel like when the interdictor pulls you out of hyperspace, you don't like you hit the edge of this sphere of influence, right? And you're going at superluminal speeds, and you have to drop out of where you detect it into when you revert to real space. And so, being that you would be inside the cone of influence or the sphere of influence or whatever, makes sense that he has to like chuck a Yui and find the nearest exit.
And also that's the other thing is being pulled out of the hyper jump sounds horrible.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but that sounds like if you're going, you're going a billion miles an hour and then you just pull on the e-brake super hard.
It's like hitting a brick wall or something.
Yeah,
I mean, he was in a trance, so maybe he didn't. He didn't get the full effects of like being thrown around the cockpit or whatnot. But
who taught him the Jedi trance? Did he read that? How do you do that?
YouTube.
Speaking of pulling the e-brake in hyperspace, is there hyperspace drifting?
That's a great game. Have you played hyperspace drifting?
Or like if he stopped and hit the e-brake, does the interdictor keep going past him and plaid?
That's what I was imagining also when he was pulling his little maneuver to try to get out of the tractor beam, was just him speeding up and hitting the e-brake trying to get out of the beam's little sensor.
I like how there's even descriptions of like the ethereal rudder making some sort of noise as he was trying to like, as though there's some sort of like ether of space that they're trying to push through or whatever.
Space sargassum.
Yeah, that description really confused me for a moment.
That
Jedi trance, though, seems really useful. I would love to be able to do that.
Oh, yeah, go on a long haul flight and just knock out.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that while I was driving.
I do that while I'm driving. You guys don't do that where you're driving and then you just kind of forget where you are?
Although, yeah, I will sometimes. I'm like, wait, how did I get here? Right, yeah, highway hypnosis.
Yeah, before when I was in Australia, that was I would feel that, but like here, there's so many turns that you have to make that in Okinawa that like, yeah, there's no such thing as highway hypnosis. Things just stop and start, and the traffic's not very smooth.
I feel like I don't even get down the highway. I take the same route to work, and I've been doing that for almost 3 years at this point. That my brain just no longer processes it as useful information. So I'll just I'll be like, oh, I hope I didn't run any red lights on the way here.
I've done that on a stop sign before. I was like, oh, shit. That was a stop sign. Done that a couple times. But yeah, my last job when I was driving on the freeways, nothing but freeways. It was just like, usually it was just when I was coming home. I'd be like, oh, shit, I'm here already.
I'm pretty sure every driver here in Atlanta is in a trance.
When else might you use a Jedi trance to get through your day?
Like an office meeting or something?
Yeah.
So when they had him grabbed and he was like, oh, if I can do a sudden enough movement, I don't know why my brain was like, he's in a hyper jump while attached to the tractor beam, but it's going to hold on to him and he's going to go hyperloop, spin around them very fast and slingshot off into space. I don't know why my brain thought that, but that's where my brain went. I would love to see because when you do a hyper jump, it's a straight shot.
Right.
You can try to turn it, but then you hit an asteroid and start off the High Republic.
Hyperspace drifting.
Like that movie where they curve the bullets, it's like curving your X-Wing.
Oh, Wanted.
Yeah, Wanted.
You guys want to talk about Wanted? That's a great movie.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Morgan Freeman's a fantastic actor.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
It's one of the few movies where he's a villain.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert.
he's been a villain a few times.
You mean he's not the villain in Bruce Almighty?
Well,
depends on how you
I guess
look at
depend
it.
on what religion you are.
Yeah, no, the screenwriters of Wanted went to my college, and one of the professors was on the kill list.
Oh, interesting.
No, that's funny.
Like actually in the movie.
In fact, they actually did assassinate him.
Really?
Like there was someone who was him.
The thing that he was actually in the movie, I feel like if I found out one of my students made a movie and I was on a kill list in that movie, I feel like that would be a vague threat.
Mm-hmm.
And you get chosen.
I knew I shouldn't have given him an F.
The Wanted video game was good too. Enough but Wanted.
Lots of QuickTime events.
What was that back in the 2000s when they made all movies into video games?
Yes, exactly. Do you guys play the Jumper video game?
Jumper.
There's a Jumper video.
Yeah, you play as you play as Griffith.
Hayden Christensen.
I didn't even watch that movie.
I didn't know
I
that was
haven't
a movie.
either, but I knew about it because it was marketed.
It's Hayden Christensen. What do you want?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a movie. Jumper? Is it like the outfit jumper?
No.
Yeah. Hayden Christensen teleporting.
It's just this kid discovers he has the power to teleport.
Yep.
Mm.
And then a weirdly religious cult decides that he shouldn't be allowed to teleport. That was their big thing, is that it was against God for him to teleport.
What isn't against God, though?
Fair. Yeah.
And so Lucas seems like he's in a bit of a pinch here.
Yes, he does.
So he pulls his maneuver, and it even says when it's in his perspective that he hears a noise that he doesn't like. He doesn't even take the time to figure out what the noise.
He doesn't recognize the noise.
I thought it was R2 at first.
Yeah.
I did too. I thought maybe he lost R2 for a second.
Like the tractor being just locked onto R2 while he's trying to. R2's just floating in floating in space. He's like,
You know what? That is a way to escape a tractor beam, though. Just eject your astronaut.
Exactly. Just don't get too friendly with them.
Yeah.
But then he basically ejects his toilet too. So he's stuck with that.
You got to make sure you wipe the droid before you eject it out. Otherwise, they got all your secrets.
Oh, true. Yeah. Have a virus ready to upload from the X-Wing just in case.
It's just nothing but Rick Astley. You got Rick rolled.
But yeah, this is another thing that was okay, again, it feels like Thrawn knows way too much about everything, because when we get to Thrawn's perspective, he's also he didn't know that when he pulls this maneuver, it's going to affect his device, meaning he only can go for what was it? He can only how far could he go?
Just one light year.
1 light year.
One light year away.
Yeah.
But of course, all his officers should have been as smart as him to know exactly what was going.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that was brutal.
Yeah, his punishment was fast and severe.
It's what kind of how is he going to punish?
Maybe I was having some trouble. What happened? Yes, I know he was killed. That was his punishment. What did they do to him?
They don't really describe it. He was Rolk, and then the guy's dead. He tells Rolk basically to finish him.
He just points at him, and apparently things move quickly that nobody sees, and the guy doesn't even scream, and he's just dead.
Rolk probably just snapped his neck.
Oh, okay. Because I thought using his claws or something, he might have slashed him, and that's why I was thinking
we don't know. I mean, he could have.
It seems like that's a lot messier than what Vader would do, of just choking him with the Force. They'd just crumple on the floor and they'd be dead, and they could take him away. But using other means your no-Greek bodyguard to, I don't know, make a mess on the floor.
He sticks a Stogly stick in the guy's mouth, and then silly strings him.
No.
Big trouble in Little China.
Fills up his what was that guy's name that ate everything? It's like he just fills up his stomach full of like the Stokely Six Silly String, and he just like pops.
Oh, are we talking about Tayvar?
No, we're not going to talk about Tayvar again.
No, we're not.
Tayvar will be lost to history.
Ugh. But yeah, it was pretty cool how he just like appears there. That he's just silent and in the background, ready to be like just summoned, like a genie.
Pelion didn't even know he was there.
A violent genie.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was great.
But it was interesting that Pelion was like, kind of drew like a parallel to the way that Vader would punish his, like those who failed him.
Yeah.
Because, Thrawn can't exactly force choke, or at least, we don't know. But it's like, what would he have done? Maybe he threw him out the airlock, or maybe he would have just court-martialed him or something. But, it's like, who knows? But now, and then he's like, oh, Rourke's here. Okay, now I get it.
Yeah. I mean, in the Rebel series, we're seeing that Thrawn himself is quite physically capable, but we haven't seen him or heard any descriptions of him in this book that describe how physically capable he is, and he gets a lot of his dirty work done by Rook. So it makes me wonder, like, is he a sedentary kind of guy, or is he also punching and kicking droids in the back room?
Oh, he's a brawler. He definitely takes his jacket off and just digs into droids.
Thrawn does he does kind of strike me as the guy who would just like pull out his sidearm and just like blast the guy in the face or whatever, but he also doesn't really want to get his hands dirty, I guess.
Yeah, that seems a little bit hot for Thrawn, I think. I think it'd be something a little bit colder.
Maybe now that he's the Grand Admiral, he won't do that, but maybe like earlier in his career he would have. Maybe he was captain or something. I don't know.
Maybe Thrawn Origins.
But maybe he's also evolved past that kind of behavior.
Maybe.
I'm better than that, I guess. Let my Nogri do the dirty work.
When really what he means is like, I need something that makes me look smarter than just pulling out a blaster.
True.
Yeah.
I need a less obvious thing so people see what a genius I am.
But it also makes him even look even, in a way, it kind of makes him look even more brutal to let somebody else do his dirty work.
Yeah, I think so. Because like, it's also enforcing some sort of command structure as well.
Right.
To be the one giving the order, but not necessarily carrying it out himself.
It's a power flex on multiple levels.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Speaking of flexing, I do think he is physically fit in this book, because it would make sense for him to take advantage of every asset available to him, and you would likely see his own body as an asset too.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I think so too.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to the chapter where C'Baoth and Thrawn both take off their shirts to compare.
Right. Who's got the better abs?
Yeah.
For my own personal collection, I just need a long description of them shirtless together.
You will get that one way or another.
Yeah. to be fair, Kyle, every chapter that they've been in, it has not described any shirts.
That is true. This whole time.
That's fair.
That's just one of the way that he's enforcing his power structure on others.
The only thing we are ever aware of Thrawn wearing is body armor.
The body armor, right?
Yeah.
Quick, somebody do some fan art of Thrawn with Joruus C'Baoth and Kylo Ren just flexing off.
You're going to get a lot more than you asked for.
Right.
All right, I am ready. Let's go.
Especially if you do a Google search.
Should I keep safe search on or off?
I don't know. I don't think you're going to get it with the safe surf.
This is true. Am I feeling lucky?
Is it luck or is it bad luck?
It depends on how you look at it.
I guess so.
Yeah.
No, if it was mid-journey, everything would be perfect except for the fingers.
Oh, God. Would it give him like 10 abs as well?
It could, yeah. It might.
But it's 10 abs like between the two of them.
They're just like morphed into each other.
No. There's two guys, two bodies, but in total there are 10 apps.
Oh yeah.
Future of art.
Ugh.
Right here.
Yeah.
What do you think Thrawn would get from AI art?
I don't think he'd feel much about it because it's art created by machines.
Yeah. And he doesn't like, I mean, do we know how he feels about droids?
I think he would still see it. I think he would see through the art to like, what is the capacity of the person giving the prompts behind this? Because like, just like you would,
Right. I think so.
See a movie, you are seeing the vision of the director or the publisher. Or
I think so too. I like that. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
And like, that's all that I feel that AI art is that it just enables everybody to be some sort of creative director without necessarily having any creative skill.
Yeah.
And just like you would commission other people and say, I'd like the fingers to be, a little bit too long. Go back and scrub this thing. Change the art style, or it's just enacting people's desires to consume art. And I feel like he would take that into account and like look through that and say, okay, well, the person who directed this was this kind of person, and I feel like I could really get them with an uppercut while they were thinking about a jab, or I don't know, whatever Thrawn thinks about in his enigmatic, glowing-eyed skull.
Does that mean he's a member of the Blue Man Group?
He is the Blue Man Group.
He's the Blue Man Group after they do the Dragon Ball fusion.
Oh yeah.
He's not the last of his species, right? Like that's
No.
They're just quite a rare species.
Yeah, they're not usually this deep into the galaxy.
Yeah,
because they are deep on the outside, but if they come in, they're deeper.
Wait, what?
Because his planet is on the way past the outer edge of the galaxy.
Right.
Yeah,
and if he's moving inward, he's getting shallower in the galaxy, deeper in the. He's moving.
I guess shallower.
Yeah, I don't know.
Deeper into the core.
I guess.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
There
Yeah.
we
go. This has been Deep Thoughts with Kyle.
Where we discover what the meaning of deep is.
Asking the most important questions.
But first we have to ask, what is the meaning of is? All right, my wife gets that joke.
I got it.
There's like a 400-page book on why 1 + 1 = 2.
I mean, didn't they only prove that like in the 90s or something?
It's unnecessary.
No, it is necessary, Kyle. We are the Lost Holocron. This is what we dive into.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is that after we finish Heir to the Empire, we're going to cover that book.
Yes.
So have any of you...
Speaking of books.
Yeah, speaking of books, have any of you read The Art of War? The Sun Tzu's Art of War?
I started.
I have not read it, but I have gone over some of the wisdom departed on it. Seek to aggravate your enemy, general stuff like that.
Yeah. There's one of the first few chapters is like how to control your army, and you don't punish the soldiers, you punish the trainers and the people who are going forwards, because if you punish the people who are enacting the actions themselves, that they don't learn to be more competent, they just fear from above. But if you punish the people who are giving the orders, they control a lot more personnel, so they will become better in their instruction. It's just like if you have a school, whether a student is passing or failing is not about the student, it's about whether the teacher is imparting wisdom to the student in a way that they're actually a good teacher or not. And this felt like the way that, what was it, Peterson was the guy? Peterson had some real goal to be able to look Thrawn in the eye and say, yes, that's what happened. I made a mistake, but it's not my fault. And he didn't back down from that. He kept his gaze with Thrawn, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason why I feel like he might have died. So,
because he stood up to Thrawn.
Well, just that he wasn't as deferential as he probably should have been in that moment. I feel like the trainer, who had a much less pronounceable name, Ensign Colclosure. So Ensign Colclosure was definitely being reprimanded in that point, but by having his personnel killed.
I mean, but think about the punishment that would be to see like somebody that like.
Yeah, and that's kind of my point here is that
okay.
Unfortunately that came at the expense of the foot soldiers, but that was very severe punishment on Colclosure's.
Yeah, that's right.
Because now he's got to spend more time training another enlistee. He's been like publicly reprimanded on the bridge of the Chimera.
Yeah, but the blood on him is on the trainer now. You know?
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
So now he has to live with that.
I do think a big part of Peterson's fate, and especially going back to that interaction you mentioned, Stuart, where he's like staring into Thrawn, he was showing a consistent unwillingness or inability to adapt.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it failed with the tractor beam, but now he's not even willing to learn. He's just like, oh, it's a mistake. It wasn't my fault. Just abdicating any responsibility, not looking to improve from it.
Right.
And so I think,
that's a good pickup.
So I think that's why Thrawn really saw him as, we really don't need you anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that like makes a lot more sense now. So apparently they have conscripts and enlistees, people that are willing to put into the cult, and people who are just grabbed off the street.
Yep.
And Thrawn is very, it seems like Thrawn wants everybody to be treated the same.
Equal opportunity employer.
Yeah, equality under fascism.
Yeah.
And then we get another teaser at the end of the chapter about Sluis Van being attacked, which has been talked about for, I don't know, 10 chapters now, I think.
Yeah.
So I know it's really important as like a shipyard, but like, is there any other reason that it is make this much fuss about? They're banging the drum for a long time.
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
I haven't been able to pick up on anything.
No.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember what Sluisvan was.
You have any thoughts, Stuart?
Not other than I learned that the word sluice, not spelled like this, but sluice means like a water gate, that stuff just comes, it stops or start to pour.
Watergate, you say?
Yeah, Watergate. Watergate in an aqueduct, not
like a sluice box for my full panning.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Sluice box.
I keep thinking it's that word when I look at the name.
It is that, right?
My mind well, yeah, but it's spelled differently.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I keep thinking, oh, it's like that other word.
Yeah. Maybe it just like pours out ships at some point. Like, I think that's the image that we're supposed to be getting of like.
Is it supposed to be like the?
Is it like the Panama Canal of the Star Wars universe?
The Panama Canal, you say?
Wait, but that would be like a transport, like a shipping route, though. The sluice van, isn't that more of like manufacturing though?
Yeah. So they manufacture a lot of fighters, a lot of
like the Kuat drive yards.
Oh, yeah, that's the other one.
Yeah.
Do you think one of them is controlled by the Imperial? Do you think the Kuat drive yards are controlled by the Imperials now? Is that where they're getting all their Star Destroyers from?
I mean, I think they were at one point, right?
Yeah. Maybe that's what they want to do. They just want to shut down the construction of capital ships for the New Republic so that they can more effectively wield their numbers.
Yeah.
That's a solid plan.
That is.
Anything else before we...
Another reason for Card to be in the story.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. So, so he's basically like contracting out capturing Skywalker.
Yeah.
And Card could be one of them.
Yeah. Mara Jade could be one of them. And then sparks will fly.
Oh.
Yeah.
What kind of sparks?
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Card's looking for, will more than likely be looking for Luke, and then Han and
then Han and Lando are looking for Card.
Right,
exactly.
So does that mean Han and Lando are looking for Luke?
But they don't know it.
So just a little bit of speculation. What do you think is going to happen in this next chapter? Who are we going to go to in this next chapter?
It better be Card, or else I'm going to be pretty disappointed.
He's just another little blip on the radar until like another 4 or 5 chapters later.
Or we go to Leia and Chewie, and they're like, "We need to go to Talon Card."
We need to stop by him before we go to Kashyyyk.
That, or it's like we did with the Lando thing, is that we're like, oh yeah, we're going to get Lando, and then he just appears on the radio, and, and there's a space battle that puts a wedge between the plot that's happening and the place that we need to be.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll find out next time.
Well, yes.
This has been The Lost Holocron. You can find transcripts, links to discussions, and more at our website, lostholocron.com. While you're there, you can learn how to support the creation of future episodes. Read on, and we'll be waiting for you in the next transmission. We would be honored if you would join us.